Okay, we're back. Episode 23. It is the year 2020, and I'm sure that's a year no one ever will forget. But just to get you guys caught up on what's going on in the ranch. During the wintertime, we've been talking to an architect in Billings, and he has come up with some plans for us. So we always knew we wanted to build out here, just weren't 100% sure where we wanted to build and what we wanted to build. So it's been an ongoing idea forever. Well, we're not getting any younger, so time to get busy before it's too late to do it. We got with the architect, got the plans like we liked, and so that was the plan for this year, 2020. That was game plan. Here it is. We're waiting and waiting. Well, I remember it like it was yesterday. It was March 13th is when it really hit the news. There were some rumbles about it, this and that, but March 13th to 2020 was the official word that I remember of Nouveau COVID-19. So first I heard of it, these people had it on a cruise ship and they quarantined them, and people were dying left and right, and the news just blew up about it. So yeah, so we all remember the time of the mask. Here I am in a mask. Look, Dave's got a mask, and Amy's got a mask. Yeah, I think y'all remember the whole world wearing a mask. So anyway, we finally figured out we can get on a plane, and we got ourselves up to Montana as soon as we could, just to avoid all the everything that was going on in the world. We didn't know what was what. We'll get out there 20 miles from nearest town and, do what we got to do. So we got there, checked on the sheep. Sheep are doing good. Found this little nest with some eggs in it. So that was pretty cool. So here's the nest from last year. These two birds come back every single year. So here is their nest. Looks like it was still in good shape. I doubt they have much work to do when they come back this year. Okay, so this little drawing, the spiral notebook here, is basically the front gate. And, I wanted to personalize it more and kind of get an idea of what to do so I could maybe gain some height on this thing. Kind of gives you an idea that I want to raise this center part and put a big W inside a circle, in it to make it look cool. And so here is some pipe that we've been cutting on. And here's a picture of a chickmuck. So this chickmuck comes up on the porch just about every day and starts screaming and hollering at you for you to get off his porch. It's pretty interesting. He's something else. So let's watch him in action here. Yep, he's an ornery little guy. Well, here's myself, Stephen, and Chase, and looks like we're getting ready to get to work. So here's Stephen gathering up some tools from the garage. So as you can see out here, this is a picture of Mark Van Hill on his scraper, and he is on his scraper, and what we're doing is we're digging a pond. And the reason we're digging a pond is because we need the material out of the pond to build up the house pad so we can build on top of it. Again, Mark is on his machine here. Let's take a look at him go. All right, so this scraper holds 17 cubic yards of dirt. So in other words, he was moving 17 yards of dirt approximately every 3 minutes from the pond up to the house pad. So there's a picture of Julie on the dozer. I operated the dozer majority of the time. Julie and Steven took turns on the Bobcat skidster. And Chase actually ran the backhoe. You may notice somewhere in here. So let's check out these machines in action. You can see there in the video of the Bobcat that we have these strings. So these strings are where we need to pile dirt up to. We need to stay inside the square and build them up to that. So, yeah, and we're not talking about build up a little bit. On the northeast corner, we need to come up 6 inches. On the northwest corner, we need to come up 6.5 feet. On the southwest corner, we need to come up 7.5 feet. And on the southeast corner, we need to come up 7 feet. Now, this pad is 200 foot long by 150 foot wide. Yeah, that kind of gives you the idea. We had to move quite a bit of dirt. Let's watch Chase on this backhoe, see how he's doing. Well, between the 17 yards an hour that Mark is moving and every 3 minutes, I'm sorry. So, and with our help, we have the tractor, the backhoe, the skidster, and I'm digging dirt also with the excavator. We're actually able to move about 20 yards every 3 minutes. So that seems like a lot. It takes a little while, and building up this pad was about a 5 or 6 day project. As you can see from this 17-second video that we have got quite a bit of dirt moved. Mark is actually up there laying dirt and constantly going back and forth over this pad as we're pushing it down. I would jump on the dozer inside the pond here, and I would drop the I would actually jump on the dozer, and this particular dozer had 3 rippers on the back. I would throw them in the dirt, rip it up. It'd break it up, make it a lot easier when Mark came around with a scraper. So I would, like I said, rip the ground up pretty good. And that would last him a while to come around, and it really shaved some time off of it. You may notice that on the 4 corners of the pad, we have white PVC pipes sticking up out of the ground. We've shoved in the ground. And we've used the laser level to make those marks at the 6 inches, 6.5, 7, and 7.5 feet. So when this thing is done, it's built up to on level, on grade, and that's why you see the white PVC post, 2-inch pipe sticking up out of the ground with tape wrapped around them at the exact right height. Well, that pad's starting to look pretty good. So, as you can see from the pipes, we got a long way to go. You can see in these pictures as the pond goes down, the house pad rises. And in this picture, you can see we have a level pad, and we're actually putting down some road mix gravel on top of it. Getting ready for the concrete, guys. Okay, remember last year when we went fishing, we drove around and that type of stuff, we finally found a place we caught one fish? Well, we decided, since Montana has no license required, no fees to fish on Father's Day weekend. That gives you Saturday and Sunday on Father's Day to go fishing without a license, whether you're resident or non-resident. We decided to, we got to live a little too, right? All work and no play. Well, so we have decided to go down to Fort Smith, Montana, near the dam, and it's a great place down there, and we decided to go try it out. A guided float boat tour, something different. Well, we drove down to the Bighorn Angler, which is a guided trip. They have a fly shop, they have cabins, and they have rooms. And not only did we go in on Saturday night, get a room, stayed Saturday night. They fed us an awesome meal in their own little dining room. The cooks are fantastic. And I'm not talking about just regular eating food. I'm talking about, this is some 5-star dinners. So they fed us great. We got up the next morning, went back to the dining room, had breakfast, nice breakfast. And we met our guides. So we had 2 boats. Julie and I are going to be on one boat, and Stephen and Chase on the other boat. And Stephen was the first one to catch a fish. So these are some nice trout. These are catch and release. We enjoy that. Yeah. So everybody catches fish. Here's Julie with her first fish. Here's a short video of us floating down the river. And Julie catches another. And another and another. I think she had like 6 or 7 fish that day. And these weren't little tiny fish either. She did great. Well, that was a fantastic time. Again, Bighorn Angler, big shout out to you guys. Awesome place. If you want to go fly fishing from a float boat with professional guides, give them a call. You can find them on the internet. Easy to work with. Great place to stay. Everything's clean. Everything's new. No junk. I mean, you'll enjoy it. We enjoyed ourselves that we decided that will be every Father's Day thing, tradition for the Wilson family here moving forward. So that is the, you start tradition somewhere, and that's the tradition we started. So, well, here we are back on the ranch, and Julie and I were out exploring and found this one particular rock outcropping on our property, and she decided to sit up there and take a picture or two. So here is a picture. We're back on the front porch, and you can see the deer just running around. So we can leave the gate open for days on end. We can chase these guys out. They just jump right back in. They like it there. So we just watch them now. They move around. I think if I were ever to hunt the deer, I would definitely go like 5 miles away from this land and hunt deer, because these guys just kind of walk around us all the time. They don't get super close, but they're not really scared of us. And we decided to just kind of watch them. So, and look, we found a bird nest with eggs in it. It was in the garage. Well, we knew there a lot of work was going to be getting done. A lot of different people were going to be there, concrete guys, over the next few years. So Julie and I decided to build an 8-foot by 8-foot latrine, outhouse. So here's your first look at the outhouse. So, by the way, that thing's got sheetrock and carpet inside. And look at this dirt devil. It's a Twister Anti-M. Well, yeah, we watched that for a few minutes. And here is the pad. So, again, this is built up on one side about 7.5 feet. The concrete guys have come out and got their levels for their forms. We've built everything up to their specs. Got everything ready for them. And, they're about ready to get busy on this thing. So this is our swimming pool. We don't have any pictures of the swimming pool from this year up, but it was time to take it down. So we started letting all the air out. And Stephen and Chase decided, along with Julie's help, that it was a good idea that everybody pile on top of this thing to help get that air out a little faster. So they did. So as much downforce as possible. So I love the channel locks, vice grips there holding the air nozzle open so all that air can get out. Yep, Chase is under there somewhere. Looks like they're having a good time getting that air out. And here's a deer. So you're looking at this deer through the porch. They decided that they really like the bird feeders, and they will sit there and lick and lick and lick every bit of food out of those feeders till they're completely empty. So we know that we have to definitely make that thing a lot higher than what it is today. We'll have to do that one day. And there he is, walking away, the little buck, walking away after a good meal of the bird feeder feed, and just moseying on, and turns around and says, "Hey, thanks for the meal." And then off he goes. Well, our beautiful pad is, like I said, all built up, and here is a picture of the plumbers have come in and destroyed it. They didn't quite destroy it, but it sure looked pretty before they got a hold of it. So they dug trenches and did everything they did to get these pipes in, because we're getting ready for concrete. So you can see all the different vents and pipes and drainages and all that stuff. And it's time to get some forms up. Okay. As you can see, the forms are up, form boards are up. And they have taken and laid down this white styrofoam underneath. And this stuff is kind of like looks like a big thing of Legos, right? So they actually lay this red PEX into this Lego, no more than 300 foot in lengths, and they all come back to this main manifold area. It's not really the center of the house, but kind of the center of the back of the house. So here's a different view of it. So again, they've got all the PEX down, and now the concrete guys have come back and started laying out some rebar so they can start getting the rebar in. These a lot of wind up here, so the pallets are to help hold some of that styrofoam Lego stuff in place. We don't want air getting underneath it and end up in the next county over. So, okay. Well, now it's the next morning. And when I mean morning, I mean 3:45 a.m. So at 3:45 a.m., a ton of trucks showed up. Travis from MKM Concrete in Billings. Awesome guy, straight shooter, does what he says, and he's good at what he does. I would recommend Travis, again, MKM Concrete, Billings, Montana. He told me this is the first time he's ever poured a residential slab. He said 99% of what he does is builds parking lots. So commercial concrete stuff. But he thought it was an interesting project, so he took it on. So here we are. It's 3:45 in the morning. He's come out with a light plant. He's got that light up, and it's illuminating the entire works area. His pump trucks got there, and then every 15 minutes, and I mean 15 minutes, Knife River was sending a truck out of Billings out there for about 4 hours straight or something. I don't know. There was a ton of trucks. So let's watch them pump some concrete. All right, now the trucks have gone, the concrete's been poured, and now we're setting these machines on top of the slab so you can put a ton of swirly marks in it. So let's watch them at work. By the way, these machines are heavy. I'll pick these things up with the forks on the front of my tractor. Yeah, I needed a lot more counterbalance, but I got them up there. And just like that, they were done. They literally showed up at 3:45. They started pumping concrete through that truck at 4, maybe 4:05. And let me tell you what, at 10 o'clock, they were done and headed out. I couldn't believe it. Here's a view of the entire slab after they were finished. You can see all those red pipes sticking up in the middle. Again, that's the in-floor heating. And there's probably about 25 zones. I don't know, 20 zones. There's a lot. Let's pull up on these deer and see what they're up to. Make sure they're not trying to move into the garage there. Some days you just can't leave a door open to anything. Well, we got to the front porch and just sat down, took a break, and sat there and watched the deer roam around. Not sure what all they eat there, but something we drop off our tires, something like that. Some little bit of bird feed in the back of the side by side, I don't know, but there's something in the back of that side by side they really want. Yeah. So right now between the rabbit and the deer, they're probably about, I don't know, 12 feet, 10 feet away from Julie. And me standing behind her. Right in the back of the side by side. Okay. Well, So to bring you guys up to speed, Julie's back has been killing her. This entire trip, we have probably made 4 trips to 2 different doctors and 2 different chiropractors because her back is just killing her. So anyway, we've tried everything. Chiropractors done this and that, and basically, when we get back to Texas, we're gonna have to, go get some professional opinions on what to do. Surgery's needed. But after trying everything, I asked her, I said, "Do you trust me?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Let's try something." So Chase and I wrapped 2 towels around her ankles. We duct taped those, put a strap over her, put them through the forks of the tractor, and picked her up. Well, let's watch. Well, whatever nerve was getting pinched, she said the minute she was hanging upside down like this, the pain was 100% gone. So we definitely knew there was some kind of pinched nerve between discs. Well, after letting her down, she was better, but it just got worse again. So it's definitely a nerve issue. So now here's some pictures. It was one of those nights where heat lightning, it hadn't quite started storming yet, but it was the biggest lightning show you ever saw. And we sat outside on the front porch late that evening, and we all took turns trying to see who could catch the lightning bolt, be ready for it. Well, we caught a few after many, many attempts, and this last one's actually the best. And we looked out one day on the dam around the west side of the pond, and there was a bunch of sage grouse. So I'm not sure if these are sage grouse or chuckers or whatever, but they sure look delicious. So I have to eat one of those one day. Let's check them out in action. Okay, so now here we are with this black piece of pipe in the road. So we have been off grid since 2010, and now it's 2020, so we're about 10 years out there. And we decided, due to the needs of the cabin and needs of the barn dominium that we're building and the garage and everything else, we really need power. So we got to get some power out there. So this route that they were going to take, they were going to put this underground power in about 3 to 3.5 feet down. So I needed this pipe under the lower road so that we could still pump water into that lower corral where the big water tank's at. So I decided to rent a Mini X and dig down in the center of the road, get this pipe way down in there, and then fill it back up, and then they could run their line through it. And FYI, it worked. So I was deep enough. I went about 5 feet in the center. They came right down the center of that road, and 3.5 to 4 foot deep, and they never touched the pipe because it works good and it doesn't leak. So worked out good. Well, about 3 days later, Julie's back was killing her again, and she said, "Can you please hang me upside down again?" I said, "Sure." So here's what we did. Well, after this, working great 2 times in a row, like I said, all her pain. So the doctors, the chiropractors, the pain pills, she was taking Tylenol and ibuprofen and all these different things. And, they really wouldn't work. They'd stay it off for a few minutes. But we knew there was going to be more. So no matter what, we were going to see a doctor the minute we got back to Texas. So here's a picture of sunset from the front porch. And by the way, if I didn't mention it, Old Blue started having some issues with its electrical. So we traded that truck in last year. So traded in, and now we have a new truck there in Montana. Here's a picture of that truck again. And right after we left, here's one of the bucks that just came up to the camera to say hello. And look at this, October 26th. This was right after we left. The reason we stayed so long this time, 1, we had a lot to do. And 2, with COVID hitting, there was really no reason for us to go back and get in the mix of everything. And, we didn't know what was going on. And so we decided to stay up there and get as much done as possible. But we left, and again, here's October 26th. You can see the snow fell. And when we got back, we decided that we would celebrate Rain's first birthday. So here's her first birthday cake. And there she is, sitting in the middle of the dining room table with all her presents. And she wolfed that cake down. And here it is, the end of the year, and look who's walking. Yep, up on those 2 feet, running around everywhere. Well, guys, that's what we did in 2020. And we can't wait to get back there in 2021 because we got lots to do. We'll see you guys on that episode.
If you feel we've earned it, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.